Hey you guys, it's Brie. Tonight we're here with an update on all things garbage. I figured it was time to toss a bunch of stuff into one video. It will be a little bit of a longer form video for those of y'all that like longer form content, but timestamps will be down below in case you're only interested in one topic. It's all good, but if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so at the top, let's start with Alicia Dougherty doing one of her very infamous grocery hauls where she buys an insane amount of everything. Remember when I covered the Christmas gift video that she did where she spent, what was it, like $23,000 on her kids for Christmas presents? Some got very nice presents and others got, you know, kind of your typical Christmas haul. That's another conversation. But in that video, I said, okay, she went to Dr. Squash, is it Squash, whatever, and spent like $300 on soaps and body washes and stuff. And I said, if she, in her next grocery haul, shows up with a bunch of body washes and soaps, that to me says overconsumption, and you're not buying a larger quantity to avoid buying it in the future. You're just buying it because you love to spend money. Literally, how many times have I said, Alicia Dougherty and money are literally oil and vinegar. They cannot coexist in a healthy space. It's bizarre. The next thing I want to talk about is this TikTok creator. His name is Leo, and Leo has a really big presence on TikTok. He came out and decided to use the California wildfires as a way to fearmonger people and spread lies. I cannot think of any time being a good time to spread conspiracies and outright lies about homeless people. But when you are doing it while this city has literally, we're dealing with people that have lost everything. Their house is burned to the ground. And then you have a TikToker over here fear-mongering and lying about homeless people. Now, he was called out about this, trying to make people think that it's, we're heading into the purge and you just need to be ready for the second round. It was very weird. I think he likes the sound of his own voice. I'll drop his video in.
Okay, this is for everybody in LA. If you survived the fire, congrats. This is round 2. This is threat number 2. Threat number 1 was the fire. It's slowing down. Great. Do not relax. There's no time for fucking tears yet. No crying, no nothing. This is game time because human beings are the apex predator. People are aware. Cops, nobody's responding to crimes right now. Everything is going to be covered and overlooked by this whole fire that's happening. People are already breaking into businesses, breaking into houses, harming other people, unaliving other people, because nobody's gonna fucking take the time. There's too much happening for people to look at. Oh, this person's not breathing no more. Was it a red rum or was it the devastation? There's too many things to be focused on. All crime, no one's there to help you right now. So protect you and yours at all costs. And I mean all costs. All that fucking pent up bullshit that everybody got from 2024, you want to crash the fuck out, save it. You about to need it. This is not a time to relax. This is not a time to fucking chill out. This is about to become a fight for resources. And you're also going to be dealing with people in the society of LA. All these homeless people been waiting for their moment. This is their time to shine. They're already breaking into houses, businesses, stealing. People are setting more fires just because they want to watch this shit go down. So keep in mind, the fire going away is threat number 1. I'm happy if you survived. I'm so fucking goddamn sorry everybody's in this goddamn position. It's the worst thing that can happen. But this is threat number 2. This is the one you really got to pray to make it the fuck out of. And when I say protect you and yours at all costs, I mean at all costs, because their crimes are kind of free for all. But if you got to do what you got to do, everybody's kind of free. This is all alleged also, because I'm making this video. But everybody there, you know what the fuck is really going on. You know what to do. So do not hesitate to do it. And the other thing, women, stick the fuck together. Be as vicious as you have to be. Nobody can respond to a crime call right now. Cops can't get down the fucking road to nobody. If men want to come in your house and overpower you, or men want to catch you and find you, what you gonna do? There's no one to call, there's no one to help. So when I say life or death, and it's your life or your death, so act accordingly. This is not over, and there's no time to cry yet, not yet. I am so fucking sorry to everybody caught up in this. I'm gonna send you strength.
Tell me how y'all feel about that. Do you agree with him? Do you disagree? I just feel like fear-mongering and disasters are not, like, it's wrong time, wrong place, and literally lying about homeless people. What a weird way to center your content around people that really don't have anything. Now you're making people scared of these people. You're creating a mess, and it's absolutely unhinged. But like I said, I think that he likes the sound of his own voice. This is also somebody who went into extreme detail of how he was going to dismember his ex-boyfriend, ex-partner. And he went into such great detail of this. The Do We Know Them podcast covered it. I'll also drop that in. I listened to him explaining this, and my jaw was on the floor. And this is not something new. This is something that he did like a year ago.
At this point, I was just so fucking mad about my little self. Like the potential that I always have felt and the dreams that I had when I was little, for all those to just be taken away from some piece of fucking shit who can't control his fucking emotions. You're gonna try and ruin me because you're a fucking little shit? I was so mad, and I had nothing to lose. And my Albanian came out. I'm a spiteful fuck. I am one of the biggest hearts and one of the most caring people. I will do anything for you. But if you hurt me or you cross me, I will do anything to you. I felt so powerless too, and I made a plan. And I made a plan for what it was going to cost for ruining my life. I was going to get my fucking get back on every single person who has ever fucking hurt me. Like I said, the Albanian came out. So I was very logical and very calculated about my plan and for how I was going to go about a mass fucking spree and then decide to follow it off. Because I'm not getting away with it. The amount of people I was going to get, there was no getting away with it. There was a paper trail. There was too much shit going on. And I was looking at it like my life is already over. So let's make it worth something. If you're going to try and fuck up my life, if you're going to take away my life, you're going to pay the cost. And it's going to cost you yours and every single thing you love in this fucking world. So my plan was I was going to mutilate my ex. I was going to cut his arms and legs off at the elbows because I still wanted to have some nubs. Arms and legs at the knees and elbows. I didn't want to turn him into a full nugget. I wanted to just mutilate the fuck out of him. And I have the medical background to do it. And I have the connections in the medical field to do it. And I'm friends with a lot of doctors and surgeons. And at that time, they all knew what I was going through. And they were all on board to help me. And just so he felt that sense of loneliness and pain. And he couldn't kill himself because you have no fucking hands. I want you to fucking sit there and endure it. I wanted my life to be worth taking. Like, if you were going to ruin the potential for my life, you were going to sit there and deal with the consequences. Because I know what I've felt inside myself for so long. I literally was like, it's too much. People would hear this and be like, oh yeah, you're full of shit.
Period.
Ooh, there's so many things that I've done.
No, he's like, no, I'm not playing you. I'm dead serious. I'm like, again, like, should we get restraining orders? Like, what's happening here? Honestly.
And things that people don't know about my capabilities and what I'm able to do. And I'd rather leave it that way. But this plan was not something that was to be taken easy. Like, this is the only thing that ever made me feel better. So powerless to do anything. Okay. And making that plan, I knew I could do it. And I knew I'd execute it. And that is the only thing that brought me relief. And brought me a little bit of peace. Knowing I was going to get some kind of get back. I was going to get some kind of justification. I was going to be able to do something. And the motherfucker knew I'm insane. Because he kept fleeing the country. But as soon as his little ass landed back, I knew where he was. Felt so free. I felt so trapped, but I felt so free finally. Like I knew what I was gonna do. I felt okay with it. And I was like,
Oh, glad you felt okay with it.
now it's just a matter of like, when do I want to do it? So I was like, fuck it. Let's try to enjoy life a little bit. Like, even though all this shit's happening, I didn't care. I didn't have to think of the future anymore. I didn't have to think of like, what are the consequences going to be if I go do X, Y, Z that I want to try. I was free to take risks.
What?
Let me just go ahead and say that. I don't have any plans of doing this. This never happened. This just was my plan. And I was free to live every day to day and just see what the fuck I could do. I didn't give a fuck I was in court anymore. I didn't care. I literally was just like, I'll go kill everybody when I'm ready and then kill myself. But in the meantime, let's have some fun. A long list of all the people from my past, from high school, and all of my bullies that I had, and just people that really pissed me off. Like this one lady in nursing school was just a raging fucking so I was gonna take her out too before I went. I concocted this full plan. It's fun. And then I was okay, the idea for the app. So I was thinking like I could only think a month out in advance of like my future because it's ending. Like my life was ending and I knew it. It was just a matter of like, when can I get this app out? And then I'm going to go execute everything because it's nothing stopping at this point. All this torment is still going on. I'm just finding a way to like fuck around in between executing my plan. But telling myself that I would start the app and then die was kind of like a bitch because it made me stick around. And there were certain days where I was like, man, fuck it, let's just go do this. Because like he was doing so much shit to me. I was like so tempted so many times to just like execute my plan. But I was like, no, Leo, we're making the app and then we're doing it. Like, that's funny. Like to make the app and like, oh, then die. I was so obsessed with that idea. The process of waiting for my app to be finished, I was trying new things to get this motherfucker to stop ruining my life. And they worked. All of the torment stopped, and reliving like this feeling state is a lot because like I was so ready to go and like execute on my plan because of what I was going through, and everything stopped and I didn't know what the fuck to do. My plan was no longer gonna have to be executed. I was no longer gonna have to die. So I was just so like, what the fuck? Like, literally, what the hell just happened?
And has continued to bring in millions of views, which equates to lots of money, on TikTok. I just think it's so crazy how these influencers will come out and say something as egregious and scary and threatening, like what Leo said, and then they'll continue to just be able to exist on social media. I feel like if I said even one of the things that he said, I would never be able to exist on social media. I would never be able to like have people like me or respect me. Like, I've outed myself as a psycho. I'd also like to pop in a little update on the Not So Resilient Jenkins. This creator, her name is Sammy. She did the math of how much Steph made allegedly in the month of October when they initially went super like mega viral. Steph could have made around $18,000. So now that we are fast forward to January and they are facing an eviction, they were notified of this in December. So this is not a surprise. This is a, hey, you agreed to pay us this amount in rent. You decided not to. So we are evicting you.
Hey y'all, your girl did it again in another viral video, but woo, these days people love to be hating. And honestly,
how much the Resilient Jenkins made in the month of October. When you join the Creator Fund program, TikTok only pays per qualified view. A qualified view is a view that comes from the FYP. It's a view that watches for more than 5 seconds, and you only qualified on a video that's over 1 minute long. So if someone watches your video multiple times, it counts as a view, but it only counts as a qualified view once. Now, these are all educated estimates that I made based on what I've made on my own page and seeing what other creators have made on their own page. I've watched a lot of videos on how much money people have made on TikTok before I even started my account, I was already obsessed with that content. And I also used some help with calculations online, sites that collect that type of data, and I used ChatGPT. The first thing I did is go to her page and view her videos from most popular first. So on that month, specifically October, you can see that she went viral multiple times. And I only selected that month, and I can talk about the other ones if you guys would like. But that month alone, she made bank. One was 13 million views, one was 7 million views, one was 10 million views. Multiple of them were like 5 million views or 3.5 or 4.5. And I gave her a 50-cent RPM. With an average of a 50-cent RPM, she made over $18,000. And that's not taking into consideration that their RPM could be higher and that the views that are qualified on those videos could also be higher because I shaved a bunch of them. And I removed a percentage of the total number of views because remember, not every view is a qualified view. So $18,000 is a lot of money. A lot of money. It could definitely be life-changing for someone in her situation. Anyways, if you guys want to know more, just let me know.
But when you're sitting there thinking, okay, in November, they received a payment of over $18,000 because that was just based off one video. I never felt bad for you, but I especially don't feel bad for you considering that you had the financial means to make it right, pay your rent, and also move to a different house that can comfortably fit all of your children and, most importantly, keep them safe so they're not sleeping on the kitchen floor. Lastly, I want to talk about Gypsy Rose. I'm going to do a reaction to some of her live stream clips. She ended up going live a couple of days ago. She just does not learn. She said a bunch of stupid stuff in the live, but I also would like to share Riley Lou news. She made a video on Gypsy, and Gypsy decided to jump into her DMs to defend all of the lies that were exposed by Gypsy's own words. She talks about a ghostwriter. She doesn't take any accountability. She is excusing her lies. It's the same rinse and repeat, but in support of Riley Lou News, I'm going to drop that in as well.
Apparently I struck a nerve because Gypsy Rose Blanchard has messaged me about the video I posted. She says, I would like to clarify what lies you think I've told. Number one, that was my first time walking on a beach. The photo was taken at a hotel with an outdoor sand area in Massachusetts. So I didn't lie. Number two, my mother didn't let me play with Barbies as a young child, meaning age 6 or 7. She didn't want me to grow out of the little baby toys, so about 9 she let me have Barbies. So again, I didn't lie. Maybe if you stop to think, perhaps there's more to the story that you aren't aware of, then things might make sense. But all you content creators run with is drama. What if someone judged you if you said, I'm wearing the color blue, for example, and someone said, no, you're lying, you're wearing navy? To you, blue and navy are the same thing pretty much. You trust that someone will understand what you are saying, like I thought people would understand what I was saying when I said I went to the beach for the first time. I never thought people would pick every single time I even looked at sand in my life as a lie. It was my first time ever putting my feet on the ground and feeling the water hit my legs. So please consider that there are details that get left out simply because I don't know I needed to explain myself to everyone. Thank you for reading this. Fair enough, I guess. But since we addressed this, why not address the rest that we said in the video? Gypsy Rose Blanchard DM'd me, and I took the opportunity to ask her a few questions. Here's what I asked, and here's her response. She had originally DM'd me about a video I made pointing out her lies and inconsistencies. If you want to see that whole message, it's in the last part. I took the opportunity to ask about the other parts that she didn't address. Here's what I said. What is your clarification on the BB gun incident? Did you ever go to school? And why did you say you never dressed up girly when there's so many pictures that seem to paint a different picture? Here's her response, but get ready, it's kind of long. Thank you. So I always knew it was a BB gun. When I watched the Lifetime series, The Prison Confessions, I did say in it, then I realized it was a BB gun. When I watched that, I even thought to myself, why did I say this? I always knew it was a BB gun, so I even called myself out on that one. Producers asked the same question in so many different ways, so clearly I misspoke on that. I have watched many others, and I always said that I was aware it was a BB gun before I shot. So with the exception of that one documentary to which I even called out an inconsistency, the story never changed. I never remember going to school, however, I remember going to a small kindergarten class called Lads and Lassies when I was maybe 3 or 4. It was for a short time. My aunts might have a better memory of those days, but I was too young to really say in detail what my very early years were like. All I go on is my memories. My mom bought homeschooling books after that, and we did small sessions together until I was around the age of 7. Then she stopped teaching me, and I was never enrolled in school. I was in Girl Scouts where my mom volunteered to be the troop leader's helper, so I was never alone. Went to a weekend Bible school when I was around 5. I know because my grandmother died when I was at the Bible school event. As for the girly clothes, I wore many pretty dresses, but what I meant was like teen girls wear really trendy clothes like cute jeans and tank tops. I would see the girls on Disney Channel wearing trendy clothes, and my mom never let me wear any of those types of clothes. My mom would buy my shorts from the boys section because the girls ones were too short. If they went above the knee, in her opinion, were deemed inappropriate. And baby doll t-shirts were not appropriate in her opinion as well. Like I said, many of the inconsistencies have to do with, I assume people know what I'm talking about, but I have to remember they didn't live it, so I have to explain the events that took place as if they don't know them like I do. Also, my book has many inconsistencies within it because during the writing and editing process, I was filming season 1 of my show, and when it came to final edits for my book, I was very busy filming for the show, so I skimmed over the edits without taking very closely look at all the details that were within the book. I worked with 2 other women, ghostwriters if you want to call them, to create my memoir. That writing process was me telling them stories of my childhood, and then they wrote it and took care of the grammatical errors. So on the second reprint, a lot of those errors will be fixed. Many were typos or minor errors that unfortunately caused many to even speculate more about the inconsistency of my story. Whew, told you that was a lot. So there we have it. What do you guys think?
If you're on TikTok and you'd like to, you can go follow her. She covers a whole bunch of different stuff. But imagine being exposed for lying and then jumping into a creator's DMs to excuse those lies. Gypsy has not learned that the one thing, she would be so much better off to just zip it. Shut your mouth, be quiet, stop jumping into messages and live streams with creators that are discussing you. You say you don't care, but then you do stuff like this. I think that you should go tend to your baby instead of worrying about what people are saying about you on TikTok. That's my opinion. So let's get into some of these clips.
Yeah, my account got hacked last month. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Yeah, I am not very knowledgeable when it comes to scams on like emails and stuff. So whenever I went to my email, there was an email that was supposedly from TikTok, and like verify your account, because when I changed my username like months and months and months ago, my check mark went away. So I had been like wanting to get it re-verified, and so I clicked on the link and it asked me for like my login information, and like an idiot I gave it because it said it's from TikTok. So I fell for a scam, and then within a couple minutes I went to log in to this account, and the email attached to it had been changed. And I didn't put my phone number to it, and so it was literally, you can only log in with the password and the email that goes with it. So I was locked out of my own account. So that was crazy for a few days, and I had told the hacker, I'm like, I will get my account back. Like, rest assured, I will get my account back. And he tried to sell it to me for $400. I was like, no, I'm not paying for my own account. I'm going to go about it the legal way and contact TikTok, and Ken helped me out with that. Because there's like several email addresses that you could email TikTok, but they don't like get it, they don't like respond back to you very fast. So Ken was able to find like where you put or like report a ticket or put a ticket in, a problem ticket. And so he helped me with that. And I had got a response back from them saying, if you give us the email that was attached when you created the account and all this kind of stuff. And thankfully I knew all that because I'm the owner of the account. So I got my account back, and I mean, at least it's not in the hands of a scammer. I think it was heartbreaking to kind of watch all these people just kind of like go bananas trying to buy my account, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. Or at least you can get in trouble for it anyway. So I mean, yeah, it was crazy. I was watching him go live from my account, trying to ask people for money. I'm like, Lord have mercy.
So she's not very knowledgeable when it comes to scams. Another lie. Gypsy, do you not realize that every time you open your mouth, a lie is detected? She can literally lie so easily, but she still doesn't understand that people are on to her. You're not knowledgeable about scams. Please. Oh, I also want to say that she was chatting with the hacker when she was having her child. A lot of people are like, oh my God, how could she do that? Do I think that it's showing that her priorities are not in line? Yes. But do I think that her being on social media at that time is crazy? Not really. But let's hear what she says about life with baby Aurora. And by the way, this is probably going to upset some of y'all, but this is her giving herself another opportunity to let everyone know how easy breezy life has been for her since having this baby.
Good. The first few days were a little overwhelming, but Ken was absolutely so supportive. I didn't have postpartum depression, but I did go through a little bit of postpartum anxiety, which I think is absolutely, normal for a first-time mom. You look at all the things that could go wrong and it kind of freaks you out. Even when you're in the car and you're like, oh my God, there's cars passing by. Like it's overwhelming a little bit. But I've adjusted, like my hormones have leveled out now. I still have moments of getting
Someone in the comments said that hormones don't actually level out for about 2 years. Tell me how you feel about that down below. But of course, we have Gypsy making sure that she's telling everyone how easy breezy things are, while also not giving out proper advice. Like postpartum depression doesn't come until, based on what a lot of people are saying, anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks after having your child.
Emotional, especially, when I look at my little girl, it brings up a lot of emotions about my mother. And it's hard to look at this little innocent baby, and know that I was once a little innocent baby.
You were a little innocent baby, and now you're a big mommy murderer.
I don't understand how parents could hurt their kids. I just don't. I think
hurt or know that your child has a chromosome deletion and you are getting medical help for them because of this chromosome deletion disorder, whatever you want to label it as.
That's been the hardest part since I had her, is having to face the fact that I was innocent once. It's hard, but it made me just kind of want to be the best mom for her and do right by her. And I will. She's gonna be in a family full of love, and she is not gonna know or have to experience the pain that I did. So
this look on her face right here, it bothers me the way that she presents on camera is a very much, well, I've got it easy, but I was a victim and I would never do that. And I'm just here to change my life. Like, and we know all of that is BS nonsense. We know it. Like, we've seen the medical records. We've seen the, crime scene photos. We've seen all the digital evidence that led up to the crime. Gypsy knew that she had this microdeletion long before Dee Dee was unalived. Dee Dee was going through her own medical issues towards the end of her life.
There's a message showing that Gypsy Rose is acknowledging her medical condition and the subsequent treatments that were required. Not only that, but this message gives us insight into Dee Dee's declining health the months up to her demise. This is a snippet of an ongoing FB conversation with Aaliyah and Gypsy. Gypsy writes, because we're both Catholic Christians. Anyway, my health has been stable. They found out I have a chromosome deletion. That's why all the medical issues, but I'm a fighter. I'll be okay. My mom's health has gotten worse over the years. She's got diabetes, heart problems, glaucoma, affects eye vision, liver disease, kidney failure, Parkinson's disease. So she's trying to still keep up, but we had to stop doing the newsletter, and we have only had 3 movie nights this year and only 1 last year. She just had kidney surgery for kidney stone removal. She's getting better from, and then it cuts off. This message was included with a bunch of messages to Aaliyah, her friend, but I thought it would be really important to specifically highlight this one. This was 8 months before Dee Dee Blanchard's demise. Gypsy, then 23, acknowledges the medical procedures that she had undergone. By this time, most medical treatments had completely stopped. They would only go to the emergency room to have Gypsy's feeding tube replaced. This highlights Dee Dee's numerous health conditions that led to frequent hospital visits via ambulance. This offers a key perspective into the dynamic between Gypsy and Dee Dee and the complexity of everything that was going on. It also debunks the narrative of MVP. This is a case of medical malingering, which GRB was completely complicit in as an adult. And it's evidence like this that's coming out that further supports the real narrative of the case.
And she has a really good daddy. Ken is a really, really good dad. He's not afraid of poopy diapers either. I thought he would have been one of those guys that's like, ooh, poopy diapers.
She's sitting here talking Ken up like he's just great and he's not afraid of poopy diapers and all of this. The minute that Gypsy Rose is done with Ken, we are going to see her dragging him, cussing him out, saying how bad he is. It's the same thing that she did with Ryan. It just so happens that Ken is still in her good graces for now. Wait until he isn't. This is the final clip that I'm going to respond to. I will drop in where she talks about her nose job and Mia's nose job and chin implant. Like, I don't really care too much about that.
Yeah, my sister, she did get her nose done too. We went to the same surgeon. So Mia's nose, she could tell you, was crooked. And she had like a deviated septum too. So I had rhino and septoplasty. From the front, you really can't tell a difference, which is fine. I wasn't looking for a skinnier nose. I was looking for the bump to be taken away. So for her, they had taken the bump away that she had, straightened her nose, and then lifted the tip. Whereas I had just took the bump away and then lifted the tip. So the side profile is the only way you could really see that I had a nose job. So, and then she got a chin implant too, which I told her, I said, it's gonna hurt for now, but the swelling will go down. for me, I just started being able to feel the tip and be able to like move the tip. Before, like my tip felt very like stiff, and for the first couple months, I couldn't feel the tip. So now I can feel my whole nose. Okay, so for my teeth. Okay, so this is a bridge. So they don't come out. They are attached to my other teeth. Whereas the top ones are a partial. So it's a partial denture. I was pregnant during the journey. I wasn't pregnant when we started the journey of my teeth, but during the process I was pregnant. So they can't put implants on a woman that's pregnant or a person that's pregnant. So going forward, in the future, I could get an implant. But for right now, they look really nice. I'm really proud of them. They're really white. I still remember whenever I asked for like Hollywood white. She was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yes, I want Hollywood white."
She really talks as if she knows everything about rhinoplasty. She really thinks that she just knows so much, where she's explaining, "Oh, well, I just wanted the bump." Like, girl, please. But I want to focus on this where she talks about her haters and her supporters.
Anyway, it is time to feed her, so it's about that time. So thank you so much for watching my live and being on this journey with me. I'm not perfect. I know you guys have seen me make some mistakes and wrong choices and flub ups and embarrassing moments. Who remembers that video that I did in the fall when my fly was down on my pants? Like, that was embarrassing. I never said it was perfect though. I know I get a lot of hate, and a lot of videos that I come across are hating on me, but I don't let it get to me much.
No. Embarrassing is not that. Embarrassing is the bigger things that you've done. The way that you manipulated Ryan, the way that you manipulated Nick, the way that you have come out and you have been caught in so many lies. And when someone exposes them and says, "Well, this is actually not true," you want to jump in their DMs and be messy.
Because I know who I am and my family knows who I am, and that's all that matters. So, but I also know that I have a lot of support out there too, and I don't want the haters to overshadow the support. So, you know, whenever I go out in public, I am always greeted with really nice people, and I get to meet really nice people that share their personal journeys with me as well. And I might not see everybody's DMs that might DM me, but please know that my heart is always going to be with anyone that has gone through any type of trauma in their life. I came on this app not to encourage people to commit crimes. Like that was never my end game, nor was it to make money. My end game was always to try to be, and I know this sounds stupid, but like an inspiration of when you go through something really, really traumatic and you think that you can't take a next step forward. That was my end game, was to prove that you can.
No, her end game was money. She's just lying. She can't be honest about it. The problem is that you early on said that you wanted to do advocacy work, and instead you made mess, and you haven't done a single bit of being an actual advocate. And for me, when I think of trauma, y'all might hate me for saying this, I don't think of somebody that has a microdeletion going through medical visits and stuff like that. In my opinion, Dee Dee Blanchard was somebody who obviously knew about the microdeletion, and she was probably visiting too many doctors, but it was probably because she was worried sick and didn't know how to handle this. And then the scam came in, and she realized that she could make money by having Gypsy in a wheelchair, and at least when they were out and about. And in my opinion, I don't think that Gypsy ever used that wheelchair inside her house. I will stand on that until the end of time. I think the wheelchair was a prop for when they were outside of those four walls. And I've always thought that, and it's just how I feel.
And to be an example of that, there's a lot of rumors on TikTok of this, that, and the other. 99.9% of everything that content creators make about me is lies. It's clickbait.
99.9% of what you say is lies. That's why content creators cover you. It's because you literally cannot keep your lies straight, and it feeds the content machine. And people that want to cover it will.
And if you're someone that knows me or is a friend of me, there's a reason why you guys are friends with me and you guys ride for me so hard on this app.
Listen, if you're riding for Gypsy Rose and going out of your way to defend her, I think that you have major issues. I think that you're parasocially connected to her, and being parasocial with someone is bad enough. Being parasocial with somebody like Gypsy Rose is unimaginable to me.
Defend me is because you guys know my heart, and I might not always make the best choices, but you have to also remember I did spend 24 years of my life under my mom's thumb and was not able to make mistakes like teenagers make and rebel and all this kind of stuff and make dumb choices. So I'm doing that at 33 years old.
So rebelling, like going on the internet and being sexual with grown men, rebelling, like running out of your house and having a neighbor take you to the hospital to visit this crush guy that you were, this guy that you were crushing on. Rebel, like, I don't know, making some very suggestive videos after Nicholas Godeshan sent you an item in the mail, but your final act is the problem. The final act is you manipulated a disabled man to kill your mother.
Give me a little grace, please. But every month, every day, every week, I feel like I am growing as a person, and you learn by experience. So, yeah, I've made some experiences and learned from them. So, navigating life. And I think that, you know, they asked me, thank you. You know, a lot of people ask me, you know, why are you a fan of Gypsy? You know, like, why are you supporting this girl? And I think it's just because, you know, despite my age being 33 years old, I think Gen Z relates to me because we are all just trying to figure out who we are. I don't know who I am in terms of everything. I'm on a journey of self-discovery. And I think that, I mean, we're all making mistakes. We're all learning from it. We're trying to navigate life. And that's why it's relatable. That's why I'm relatable.
Girl, shut the f*** up. Whatever. She's talking about how she can't feed her baby and all of this kind of stuff. I'll drop a couple of other clips at the end in case y'all want to stick around and watch it. But I'm so tired of this narrative that, oh, we're just trying to figure it out. I'm just someone who is making silly, goofy mistakes. That's not it. That's not it at all.
I was supposed to have an induction. Thank you, Barbara. I was actually supposed to have an induction today. But she had other plans, so she came a little early. I am not nursing, unfortunately. So like I did produce colostrum, so I was feeding her colostrum while in the hospital, but my milk never came in. Like my milk supply, everybody was like, your milk will come in a few days. And I pumped and I pumped and I was able to get a drop, and that's about it. So we're formula feeding. And it's okay, because as long as she's fed, that's all that matters. So, but I did try to breastfeed first. No, I made a choice a long time ago that I wasn't gonna show her on social media. It's to respect her privacy. We're trying to keep her as private as we possibly can. You know, I said a long time ago, I'm not gonna try to be a mommy influencer. I'm not gonna try and post about her. That's just for, I mean, I'm a new mom. I'm protective of her. And there's just a lot of creeps out there, so it's just the best for her to keep her out of it. But I can tell you she is a beautiful baby girl. She is healthy. She has a head full of hair. She's so beautiful. I think she has my eyes. I think she has my eyes but can smile. Like her little mouth looks like Ken a lot. I did join Red Note.
But either way, I need to move on to other content, so that's going to be it for today. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.